everyone, so I'm here today with a kind of different idea for a video that I had, and I wanted to talk to you about makeup on the go. So in this video I'm going to do a little bit of a kind of demonstration, and I'll just talk you through kind of the idea behind what I wanted to do in this video. A lot of us are really busy, and I always see girls on the train applying their makeup, and it kind of made me think, because a lot of the time it's girls that wear very minimal makeup and they'll just do, you know, a bit of tinted moisturiser, a little bit of blush and some lip balm, but you can actually do a full face of makeup on the train with products, and you don't need to cart around all your brushes and a million different things. It's kind of quite minimal in terms of the product usage, but it's knowing how to use them to their full advantage and knowing the formulas and the techniques that are right for creating a really pretty look that's kind of not necessarily just a barely there look. It's a proper, you know, everyday makeup look, but you don't need any brushes for it, and that's what I've done today with this look. Something you want to bear in mind is, I know a lot of people feel self-conscious, and it kind of raises the question of, is it polite to do your makeup on the train? I definitely think it is. I don't find it at all offensive. In fact, I find it quite fascinating when I see girls doing their makeup on the train. I always want to kind of have a nose and see what they've got in their makeup bag, but don't be shy about doing it. You know, no one's really looking at you and thinking, oh my god, what is she doing? It's just everyone's getting on with their business, and it gives you, you know, an extra 15 minutes in bed, which, let's face it, is always great. If you're sat on the train anyway and you want to be able to just do something and not necessarily always read or whatever, then this is just a nice thing to do, and they're products you can carry around with you that are not going to be too heavy. And like I said, you don't need to cart around brushes. Just make sure that you have got some kind of tissues with you to just mop up any kind of makeup dirt, and some hand sanitizer to freshen things up. Again, you can always just nip into the toilet and wash your hands as well, but it's something that I think is really, really cool, and just something that I think maybe people kind of haven't necessarily thought of doing because it looks too complicated, but it's actually not if you pick the right products. So I'm going to let you get into the kind of tutorial slash demo of this look. As always with me, it's very real. I'm kind of doing it as I would do it on the train. So with a mirror, looking at what you're doing just as you would do it if you were really on the train, because I wanted it to kind of feel like that, to show you that you really can do it that way and it's not difficult. But I will let you get on to the video, and the first thing you're going to need to make sure that you've got is a mirror, because let's face it, this isn't the like no mirror makeup challenge. And I've got this cute little mirror here from Forever 21. It's just got a little lipstick thing on it, and I think it's really cute, and it's kind of a double-sided mirror as well. So my makeup bag is this Zoella makeup bag. I really like the kind of eye print. I'm not massively keen on the colour scheme, but it is a nice roomy makeup bag. And I'm going to start off with my foundation first. And it's one of those things where I think my pigmentation has definitely improved. I don't know kind of how well you can see now, but obviously I've got no makeup on my skin right now, and since I've changed the pill that I'm on, I do think it's improved. Let me know what you think, like, be really honest, because I'm not sure. Kind of, if I look at my skin, I do think it is starting to fade a little bit, especially on this side, but it hasn't gone completely yet. So for foundation, again, no hands. I'm going to use a formula that works particularly well without brushes. I said no hands, I meant no brushes. This is the Tarte Amazonian Clay Foundation, and I actually prefer this applied with my hands. I don't feel that way about every foundation, so you do kind of have to see how you feel, but if you know that you're going to be on the go and you don't want to start faffing around with brushes, just pick something that you know works well without them. So I'm just going to pop it all over, and it's kind of a nice easy foundation to work into the skin. It blends really, really nicely, and then just start kind of spreading that out and blending it in. And I wouldn't worry about any kind of weird looks you get from people if you're doing this like on the train or on your way to work or that kind of thing, because A, people really should be minding their own business, and B, you know, you got an extra 15-minute sleep or whatever it normally takes you. So it's nice, and it's just a nice kind of way to get it done quickly and to have something to do while you're on the train. So I'm just going to add a little bit more into my problem areas, which for most people, me included, are kind of the centre of your face. And for those, I just kind of tap it in with my hand and then blend it out, and that just gives you a little bit more coverage. And you can see with this foundation, it blends into the skin really seamlessly, and I never used to like it with brushes, but with hands this works amazingly well. Another one that's similar in that way is the Maybelline Dream Matte Mousse. That kind of works in a similar way. But I'm happy with how my foundation looks now. That looks pretty even. I'm just looking in the mirror as well to make sure I'm doing it okay. Then for concealer, you still definitely need concealer. And like I explained in the intro, this isn't a kind of minimal, barely there makeup look. It's your everyday makeup look, just done in a way that can be done on the go. So concealer, I'm using a little bit of my Laura Mercier Secret Concealer just under the kind of really dark areas of my eye, and it looks like this. It's a kind of peachy tone. So just a small amount of this under, and just work that into the skin. That kind of acts as a little bit of a corrector. I usually just only take it kind of in the really inner part of my eye, and I definitely like to have something over the top that's a bit more brightening, which I'm going to show you in a second. But just pop that underneath and you can see it already just gives you such a kind of fresh faced look. So for the brightening aspect, I'm going to use a 17 Stay Time Concealer. You want to use something that's kind of quite easy to work into the skin. So I'm just going to do a little bit of this in a kind of triangle motion. I do it in a kind of messy triangle motion. I don't like it to be really obvious, and to be honest, I would normally do this with the Real Techniques Miracle Complexion sponge, but obviously we're not using anything like that now, so I'm going to do it with my hands. But this part does work better, but you might get strange looks if you pop out your little sponge and start working that all over your face. But just doing it like that, I find when kind of you're blending things in with your fingers, doing kind of fast, very light tapping motions is just the way to go. It blends everything into the skin in the most seamless way, and you just kind of have to make sure it's all melted into the skin. So I'm happy with how my kind of base looks. I'm then just going to go in and add a little bit of kind of highlighter type of thing, and I dropped my concealer. Just a little bit, just to kind of make me look nice and awake. I'm using the Clarins Eclat Minute Instant Light Brush On Perfector. I really love this. It's a really lovely kind of touche éclat type of product. So just under my brow bone, Cupid's bow, and that's it. People might kind of look at you really weirdly when you do this part, because it is kind of something that not necessarily everyone does, but it is something that I really like doing and that I think makes a huge difference. Then powder is definitely something I need to do on my skin, and it's one thing you can't do without a brush. You can't really apply powder with your hands. So slight cheat, I'm using a powder puff. This is the Maybelline Matte Maker powder. Just a little powder puff, and I'm just pressing that into my T-zone, just to kind of eliminate any shine, and I'll take the excess that's on there onto the rest of my face. But I'm happy with that. I don't really need much more than that. So that's that for my base. I'm now going to move on to doing my kind of eyes and brows. A helpful tip when you're kind of doing your brows on the go is to make sure that you've kind of brushed them into place at home, and just make sure that they're kind of in decent condition so you don't have to do too much to them. And a great product is a kind of brow mascara type of thing. This is the Maybelline Brow Drama in dark brown, and this is a nice one. It is something that I would recommend if you're on the train doing this kind of at a stop, because it can get a little bit messy sometimes and it's quite a wet formula. The brush of this kind of looks like that. It's got a kind of thicker nib at the end, and I'm just going to brush this through my brows, and it helps to keep them in place and also adds a little bit of definition, but in quite a natural way. But you do want to make sure you don't kind of get too much on the brush, because it can look a little bit, it can end up looking a bit fake if you've got too much product on there. It's not the kind of easiest one. I think the Benefit Gimme Brow is still my favourite, just because the brush of that is so nice, but this is a nice option. But that's it, I'm happy with my brows like that. If you do need a little bit more work with your brows, then obviously like don't pick something that's really intricate, like a kind of gel or an eyeshadow that you have to do it with a brush. It's just easier to use something like this. I'm so sorry, my electronic devices are going off left, right and centre. I'm going to use some cream eyeshadow because that's always just an easy thing to use, and this is by Maybelline as well, and it's the Leather Effect eyeshadow in Creamy Beige. It's one of the 24-hour colour tattoos. So I'm just going to get a little bit of this in my hand, and it's a kind of mid-tone brown colour, and just work that onto my eyelid, pushing it up and outwards, and that just helps to create a little bit of a kind of smoky effect, and it helps to define the kind of socket, but only using one eyeshadow. It's a really nice way of doing it. Then I'll just take a little bit more and put it above the crease and blend that out. So just kind of making your crease ever so slightly darker, and you can always just blend it in like that. But it's a very easy, natural eyeshadow. It's great. It's a great kind of everyday staple, I think, for in a rush, on the go makeup. So just doing that on the other side. And there you go, that's such a simple eye look, I love it. Then if you are someone that wears eyeliner all the time and you want to wear eyeliner, I totally understand, but trying to do liquid liner on the train is a little bit risky. So I've got a pencil eyeliner, and this is by Avon, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a kind of rough line on my top lash line and then smudge it in. It's really easy, you don't have to worry about being too neat or having cotton buds to clean any mess up, and it's just the easiest way of doing it. So literally just tracing it, not even super close. I'm really sorry, I'm like the world's worst YouTuber. Tracing it kind of upper lash line and then just smudging it out with a smudger on the end of the brush. And it just works so well to create a kind of intense look on your lash line, and then I always like to just go in with my finger and really soften it up. And it just gives you that little bit of smokiness, a little bit of intensity on the lash line, and really defines the eye, and it's just such an easy thing to do. And it really helps to not have to kind of worry about, you know, are the wings of your liner even and that kind of thing when you're in a rush. So I'm just going to work that in again. More or less all over, and then blend it out with my hand. So that's the eyes done. Now, mascara. I'm kind of focusing this as if you were on the train, because like I said, that was kind of the idea I had behind this video, is when you are doing your makeup on the train. But do your mascara at a stop unless you're incredibly skilled at doing it. I can't have mascara these days without eyelash curlers, so do your eyelash curlers on a stop. If the train suddenly like has a weird movement, you can end up ripping all your eyelashes out, so it's not worth it. When it's stopping and people are getting on, just do it quickly, then it takes 2 seconds. So I like to kind of tilt my head slightly backwards, situate the eyelash curler, and just do a couple of curls. And you can see, I don't know if you can see, to be fair, because my eyelashes are really not very noticeable anyway, but this eye compared to this eye instantly looks more awake. It's amazing. The same on the other eye. And there we go. And then mascara, I'm going to use the Revlon Bold Lacquer Grow Luscious mascara. Dip that in. And just do my top lashes. I'm not going to do my bottom lashes today because I just don't feel like it, and it's not something that I would necessarily do when I'm on the train. I don't normally film myself putting mascara on because you pull such weird faces when you're putting your mascara on, but I'll do it for you anyway. I really like this mascara. I didn't like it at first, but you know kind of how mascaras get better with age sometimes, and I know you're supposed to throw them out every 3 months. That's kind of a lash I'm happy with. It's a kind of nice fluttery full day lash. And I'm happy with that. Now I'm going to move on to the cheeks, and the cheek product I've got here is like one of the easiest things you could possibly use on your face, and it's the Clinique Chubby Stick in Roly Poly Rosy, and it's their Chubby Stick Cheek. This is great because you've kind of got the shape to really work it in, and it's just such an easy foolproof way of doing a little bit of cream blusher. So high points of the cheeks or the apples, however you prefer. Just do a little bit. It is quite pigmented, so I would recommend kind of working slowly. You can always add more if you want. And then just working it outwards. And I feel that that kind of gives the face a little bit of a lift. So, do it that way. And then I always kind of cross my fingers when I'm blending cheek products. I don't know, it's just kind of something that comes naturally to me, like crossing my fingers for it to come out well. But that's it, that's my cheeks done. Now lips, I have got a couple of products here because I said, you know, it would be really easy to just chuck on a bit of lip balm, but you want a kind of really nice everyday look. So I'm going to do a little bit of lip liner because I always do lip liner, but if you don't, then feel free to skip this step. I'm using this one by Essence. Just because I can't wear lipstick without lip liner, it just doesn't look right on me, I don't like it. So I like to always do that, and it takes 2 seconds. Then for lipstick, I'm going to use this one by Essence, and it's called Barely There, and it's a kind of deep nude. It's not the most flattering shade on me, and I am going to put some lip gloss over the top, which I'll show you in a minute, but I definitely do think that a kind of creamy texture, not like, you know, don't try and do a red lip on the train because that can kind of end badly sometimes, is a nice way to go. So that's the lip, and then I'm just going to pop on a little bit of the Clarins Instant Light Perfector. This is in number 05, and I'm going to just pop a little bit on my finger and then pop that onto my lips just to add a little bit of definition and make my lips kind of look juicy. And that is it, that's the finished look. Make sure you've got tissues to kind of wipe down any mess and some hand sanitizer to make yourself feel fresh and good to go again. And that is your finished look. No brushes involved, using your hands and doing it really quickly and still feeling polished. So let me know what your go-to products for this type of look, if you're in a rush and you're on the train and that kind of thing, are. And don't forget to give the video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.